Hey gang, do you know that research and studies show that it's more beneficial to focus on developing and leveraging your strengths rather than trying to improve your weaknesses? Have you heard of the concepts of blind spots and fatal flaws? These can be really harmful to your professional career. I am Denis. Let's explore what are the strengths, weaknesses, blind spots, and fatal flaws, why they are fundamental in your career development, and how you can find, leverage, and mitigate them. In the workplace, we often talk about strengths in terms of competencies, skills, behaviors, and attributes that contribute to your success. These are the areas where you really shine and stand out. Your strengths are what set you apart and give you an edge over your peers when it's come to getting things done and achieving your goals. Whether it's your ability to communicate effectively, solve problems, or adapt to new challenges, leveraging your strengths at the right time and place will not only maximize your potential, but also propel you to unparalleled success in your roles. On the other hand, weaknesses are the areas where you might face challenges or need improvement. These are typically competencies, skills, behaviors, and attributes that are harder for you to manage or leverage effectively. As a result, the outcomes in these areas might not meet your usual standards or expectations. Recognizing these weaknesses is the first step toward mitigating them so that they don't become a major roadblock for you. On the other hand, a blind spot is a weakness or a deficiency that you might not be aware of. Because you're unaware of it, you might not take the steps to address or mitigate, which will for sure hinder your growth and career. And now the fatal flaw. It can take two forms. First, it can be a blind spot in a vital competency, skills, behaviors, or attributes that is really needed for your role or within your organizations. The second form, it can be a strength you believe you have, but others perceive as a clear weakness that you have. You might think you're excelling at something while everybody else thinks you're not. You end up relying on this fatal flaw, thinking you're contributing and doing a great work, but you're not, and worse of it, you're completely unaware of it. As an example, let's say you believe one of your strengths is empathy, that you're very good at listening to others and taking their point of view and your decisions. But your team is saying, thinking, and believe me, experiencing completely the opposites. Something like this can seriously hinder your career progress, lead to major setback, and severely damage your reputations. Believe me, you don't want to have fatal flaws at all. You need to be aware ASAP if you have any and make the appropriate mitigation in place as soon as possible. Recognizing and addressing blind spots and fatal flaws are crucial for your professional growth. It involves seeking feedback from trusted colleagues, supervisors, or mentors, and being very open to constructive criticisms. This awareness helps you to take the proactive steps to mitigate areas you might not have considered before and avoid major problems that could have a significant impact on your career. So this is why it's really important for you to know your strengths, your weaknesses, blind spot, and fatal flaws. For your strengths, you will be able to maximize your potentials, feel more confident, and find task roles that fit them, which will lead to greater job satisfactions, better results, and career growth. But one of the most important aspects is you will be able to amplify your strengths through your development and leverage them with way more impact in your work and career. We will touch a little bit more on this later in the curriculum. Addressing your weaknesses is crucial because it allows you to identify areas where you need to put measures in place to mitigate them or seek assistance when you're faced with a task or an assignment that align with your weaknesses. For example, if attention to detail is one of your weaknesses and your manager asks you to perform some data analysis in a spreadsheet, knowing that this is one of your weaknesses, what you'll do is to mitigate that, you may ask one of your colleagues or a data analysis in your organizations to review your work. By doing that, you can still produce high quality work while effectively mitigating your weaknesses. Identifying blind spot is also super crucial. It enhances your self-awareness and ensures that your growth and career progressions are not hindered. Similar to weaknesses, it's super important to identify blind spots and implement the mitigation mechanism for them. Then there's the fatal flaws. Like I said, it is absolutely fundamental to recognize and mitigate any fatal flaw that you may have to avoid major failures that could significantly impact your career. Okay, now it's homework time. Let's figure out how you can identify your strengths, weaknesses, blind spots, and fatal flaws. As usual, go get the 2 forms in the training page. First one is the self-assessment form. Second one are examples of strengths, weaknesses, blind spot, and fatal flaws. First way to find your strengths weaknesses is with the self-assessment. You can reflect on past experience. Think about past project, tasks, where did you excel, where did you struggle. You can also seek feedback from trusted friends, colleagues, managers, and mentors. They can provide you with valuable perspective on your strengths and the areas of improvement. Or you can look at previous performance reviews and try to identify recurring themes about your strengths and weaknesses. When you have all of this, you can enter them in the first column of the form. The second way to find your strengths and weaknesses is with professional skill assessments. You can use a book like Strength Finders 2.0. That book comes with a code for an online assessment that will provide you a very comprehensive reports on your strengths and how you can apply them at work. The link for the book is in the example form, or you can look on the internet to find more information on Strength Finder 2.0. Now using the column 2 in the form, for each of your strengths, find different ways on how you can improve them even further. Now using the column 3, for each of your strengths, find 1 or 2 different ways on how you can leverage them in your role, team, or within your organizations. And finally, using the column 4, for each of your strengths, will be good if you can find different ways on how you can amplify your strengths to create a superpower. And there's different ways that you can create superpowers. First way to amplify your strengths is by combining 2 of them together. As an example, let's say you have technical expertise plus problem solving. You should seek out places with complex technical issues where your deep knowledge in the fields will allow you to identify the root cause quickly. Coupled with your problem solving skill, you can devise innovative solutions that are both effective and technically efficient. The second way is by combining strengths and the skills that you have or that you can develop over time. As an example, you still have your technical expertise as one of your strengths, plus you have the skills of communications. Maybe you have it or you want to develop it. So what you should do is seek out opportunity where you need to explain technology or technical concepts. This could include becoming a spokesman for your organizations or creating an onboarding manual for technology that your organization is planning to deploy. Now for your weaknesses, you need to find 1 or 2 different ways on how you can mitigate them that they won't hurt your performance and careers. For your blind spots and fatal flaws, you should have done the discovery phase while seeking feedback from trusted friends, colleagues, managers, and mentors, or when you look at your previous performance reviews. As with the weaknesses, you need to find ways to mitigate your blind spots and fatal flaws. However, the most important aspect is to be fully aware of them in your daily activities. Always be fully aware of any situation or scenario that may expose your blind spot or fatal flaws, and try to actively mitigate them to avoid any major issues. You can use the column 3 to enter possible situations or scenarios where they can pop up for you. That's it. You now have a full knowledge of your key strengths, how to improve and leverage them at work. Also, you are fully aware of your weaknesses, blind spot, and fatal flaws, how you can mitigate them, and how to recognize them in any work scenarios that may represent a risk for you. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next sessions.